Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here, site super moderator for Avatar The Last Airbender Online.com and main host of the Avatar Online podcast. I'm here today with a Korra news update video and also a speculation video going into K209, the guide, which is not going to air this Friday, but instead is going to air next Friday, which is November 1st. So yeah, let's just get straight into the news. There's a few things to talk about. First of which would be comic news. And that is that we at last have a description for Avatar The Last Airbender, The Rift Part 1, the next series after The Search. Um, so, the description of Rift Part 1 reads as follows. Avatar Aang asks his friends to help him honor Yang Chen's festival, one of the highest air nomad holidays, which hasn't been celebrated in over 100 years. But cryptic visits from the spirit of Avatar Yang Chen herself lead Aang to discover a jointly owned Fire Nation and Earth Kingdom refinery operating on land sacred to airbenders. Is this the cause of pollution Aang Is this the cause of the pollution Aang finds there, or is a more mysterious menace afoot? In stores March 5th. That's the comic book store release date. So really interesting in my opinion, because Yang Chen is the one named avatar that we've seen but haven't really got that much on. She's the one character who, like, when Aang's spoken to the avatars, that I think the two times he's done that, in Sozin's Comet and then Escape from the Spirit World, they've all told him some part of their backstory, apart from Yang Chen, who focused mainly on giving Aang wisdom, because Air Nomad Avatar, she gave him like advice coming from that point of view. The only thing we really know about her and her past is that she was the avatar in a time of peace, and she's clearly one of the wisest avatars. So that's all we really know about her, so we'll probably get more on that here. Now, it's important to also note that when we first got the Rift announced, it was stated that this series was going to be about the formation of Republic City, United Republic. So that seems to be Toph's side of the story. Probably she deals with the formation of the city, maybe the metal bending police, that's what her side is. But yes, Avatar Yang Chen focus. Obviously, remembering from the Promise Part 3, Aang broke off his connection with Roku, so it would make sense that the Avatar Eve that then comes to visit him, talks to him the most, would be Yang Chen, because Kyoshi's a bit kind of overly aggressive for the most part. And then Karuk, I'm not really sure why it wouldn't be Karuk, but it makes sense that it's Yang Chen. Um, Definitely not what I expected. It's called the Rift. What's it between? More than likely, Fire Nation and Earth Kingdom refinery operating on an air nomad land. So where exactly is this gonna be? Is this just land at one of the air temples, or what? That's gonna be interesting. And what are they making there as well? It's pollution, and then obviously the hint: more mysterious menace afoot. I assume they're going to keep some sort of spirit world aspect to this series as well, because that's what they like to do. The Search obviously has that too. But yeah, we're going to get some more on Air Nomad stuff, which is brilliant, and especially because the Promise seemed to set up that Katara had this reaction when she realized that Aang was not hanging out with the girls because they were girls, but because they showed an interest in his culture, and then Katara sort of realized that that's something she hadn't done. So I'm really wondering where their relationship is going to go with this, and that I'm actually hoping that they'll probably do something like that, where Katara will show a greater interest in learning about Aang's culture, especially with the whole idea of marriage kind of set up between them in the Search Part 2. So really excited to see what the Rift is about. But next piece of comic news, the Search Part 3 still has to come out. So that's actually out October 30th. So it's actually out a week from today. But iBooks released the Search Part 2 about a week early. I think it was about 6 days early. So I'm definitely checking iBooks every day to see, does the Search Part 3 go up today or tomorrow, and obviously before the actual release date. So I recommend you guys keep an eye out for that too, because iBook seems to release a lot of comics early, so there's obviously the potential for that. Next piece of news would be ratings for Beginnings Part 1 and Part 2. Obviously, they're kind of combined as like one episode basically. 1.7 million was the number in the end. A drop of 0.28 million from the previous episode, but that's explained because the show moved from obviously the half eight time slot for one episode to like move back to eight to obviously accommodate the two episodes. It probably would have got a lot more viewers if they had actually done it half eight to half nine, but the whole Nick at Night thing, they probably couldn't do that. So yeah, it's not a bad number. Like anyone saying that 1.7 million viewers on Friday nights is bad is completely out of depth when talking about this. That's perfectly fine, especially when you consider that so many people out there watch this through live streams because they don't live in America. They can't add to the ratings. So many people are like still at work or whatever, and the Nick.com, they put up every episode online. Those videos online on Nick seem to be getting insane numbers. The downloads on iTunes seem to be getting good numbers. This show is doing really well. TV ratings are not the only thing to look at for this show. Look at the fandom, look at the Tumblr reaction to these episodes. Look how much people are talking about them. I think IGN are putting out reviews and they're really positive about most episodes. And so on. This is a well-liked show. It's just Nick messing around with the schedule, and clearly it's the casual viewers that are making up the kind of rest of the thing and not really aware of the time scale. But yeah, is there any other news to talk about? Let me just think. One final bit of news that I forgot to mention is just that any UK Irish fans out there, October 28th is the release date for The Legend of Korra Book 1 Part 1 on DVD. So this is going to be the first volume of Book 1 on DVD. We're going to have the first 6 episodes. So Welcome to Republic City 2 and The Winner Is. I think it has 2 episode commentaries on it for the first 2 episodes, and maybe some other stuff. But just note that it's out on the 28th, which is Monday. So I'm definitely going to try and get it on Monday. I'm not sure if I will be able to get it the first day, but either way I'll probably be able to get it during that week. So I'll have some sort of a review of it up, or something like that. So yeah, as I said, no new episode next week because I think they're taking a break for Halloween, which I suppose makes sense. They're going to air the episode the day after Halloween. But that's interesting enough. The guide. So yeah, the speculation into the guide. Obviously, like we only had like about 3 minutes of setup in beginnings because it was mainly about one story. But one story also revealed a lot of stuff about what was happening in the present day. Like clearly, we know that Unalaq, by coming out of the portal, was in that world between worlds visiting Vaatu, or somewhat. We suspect that's what he's doing there. So we would assume that his goal overall, finally revealed, is to somehow release Vaatu or control Vaatu or something like that. Now, a lot of speculation going around is that he'll become the kind of opposite to the Avatar. Like, while the Avatar is like the light version of a human combined with a spirit, he'd be the dark version of a human combined with a spirit, and that the end game, like episode 12, Harmonic Convergence, would be like Korra versus Unalaq. Obviously, Korra as the Avatar has Rava inside her, Unalaq with like Vaatu inside him, or something like that. But that's kind of like the obvious speculation. I still think there's maybe a little bit more to it than just that. Obviously, he still needs the northern portal opened for some reason. Obviously, I would say because when harmonic convergence comes, it won't happen if the northern portal isn't opened, and that's why he's so kind of eager to kind of have Korra open it. So that's something that's going to be interesting. Like, if the northern portal is shut and harmonic convergence comes, what happens to the northern portal in that place? Does it not open or what? And yeah, it seems that like for Vaatu to be released, he would have to use Korra again to do that. unless he's just automatically released at the next harmonic convergence and so on. But yeah, it's definitely setting up some big stuff happening because we do know harmonic convergence is episode 12, but this is a 14 episode season this time around, so there's still 2 episodes to come after that. So is there something more to this? It's often it's pretty easy after the last 2 episodes to forget that there's still stuff going on, like Mako investigating Varric. He has to prove that. Bolin, his plot. Asami, how Varric is going to I suppose mess up that business or get Asami out of the picture and take full control over Future Industries. So there's that, and then obviously the setup at the end of the last episode was that Korra has a sky blast, and then she's now heading to the southern portal, I think, to close it, and that more than likely she'll come across Tenzin and his family. There's the setup as well that Korra doesn't know how long she's been gone, so are Tenzin and his family still at the southern air temple, or have they maybe moved, or maybe at the northern air temple, and that's where she'll go first, or what? I'm not really sure. I think she'll probably just meet them at the southern air temple or air temple island, and that'll be where the Jinora Korra stuff happens, because the one thing we do know about this next episode is that Jinora, I think, is going to be in it, because New York Comic Con stated that in the episode 10 script little bit they showed, Korra and Jinora entered the spirit world at the same location as they entered in 209, so we basically get confirmation that that's what's going to happen next episode. I think this is maybe where the clip of Korra learning to perfect the waterbending spirit technique thing will happen, because I think we see clips of that while the show takes a break on air. So that's probably where that happens. But I think the main thing is definitely going to be Jinora's importance to the story finally revealed. I think she probably in the end will be the guide. Now, why exactly, she was maybe contacted by the spirit of Wan, I'm not sure. But it's definitely going to be interesting, because Jinora's just been this kind of character, okay, since episode 2, and she's give us more Jinora, please, more Jinora, and at last we're probably going to get that with this episode. At the very least, we know she's in episode 10, so that's good. But yeah, I'm just kind of wondering what the breakdown's going to be, how much of the episode is focused on Korra, Spirit World, Jinora stuff, and how much is going to be on the Mako stuff, and when this all comes back together. Does everyone think that Korra's dead at this point, or is it only Unalaq through Eska and Desna that knows this, and they just think she's still in the Fire Nation somewhere? So there's obviously that. So I'm really kind of wondering how that's going to work out. I'd say it would probably have to be mainly focused on Korra, simply because they probably have a lot to do with that side of the story. They'd have to put it in place that she basically explains everything that happens. It's going to be one crazy conversation. She just lands on Southern Air Temple and has to then explain to Tenzin that the end of the world is basically happening in a few weeks. The harmonic convergence is in a few weeks. Unlock of the spirit portal opens means that he can visit Vatu and all this sort of stuff. It's the plot has just kind of gone from here to all the way over there in seconds because of this Vatu reveal and possibly what Unlock's doing. So I'm really excited for next episode. It probably in the end will be a little bit of a letdown based on Beginnings, just because Beginnings was so good. But I think the fact that they'll still have Spirit World stuff, and especially Jinora probably getting focused, will mean that it will be a well-liked episode. Either way, the plot has kind of finally got to the point where yes, I'm into it completely now, so that's good. So yeah, that's been... So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and bye.